I thought I could show you my 2026 journal setup. Let's get into it. When I first open it, I just wrote down reading journal 2026, basic and simple. It's clear what it is, and that's all I wanted. So then we go into my reading log. These, I don't know what you call these, graphs? I don't know. They were already in the journal, so I thought might as well use them. But I just decorated this. So my theme for this setup is Harry Potter. So I made this, or I tried to make this loosely based on Diagon Alley, and I just wrote reading log here. And the first one I wrote number, this one title, author, and then stars, so my star rating. And when I flip the page, there's another reading log page, and then I have my grid spacing page with a little pixie on there. And this is just always something I do, the grid spacing with how many dots there are. And I also put my rating system here in the corner. Yeah, I've had these pages in every single one of my journals so far, and I just really like it. So moving on, we have my 2026 cover page, is what I like to call it. And I made this little Hogwarts Express train with this little, I don't know what you call this part. And I just wanted a little bit of a cover page that would say 2026. So that is what this is. There's not much else to this. There's no function except just aesthetically. So moving on, we have my reading stats page. So I always like to keep track of some different stats. So here I have my genre tracker. So I have fantasy, lit fic, romances, thriller or mystery, classic, and other. And I made it in a little bit of a Azkaban sign kind of thing. And here I'm going to track the genres of the books I'm going to read. And here in this broom, I have more than goal. So I have a reading goal. And if I read more than that goal, more books than that goal, I will just put a little checker in here with how many books I read more than my goal. Then this whole thing is my reading goal. That's up to here, 50. And then some more. And this is going to be like a tally of the star ratings I give my books. So say I have a 2-star and then a 4-star and then a 5-star and then a 2-star again and a 3-star. It will become like a tally. I can maybe show you in my other journal, my one from this year, how this looks like. Well, I haven't drawn the line here, but this is what the dots will look like, and then I will track it with like a line after it's finished. This one is rereads and new books, so I'm just tracking if the book I'm gonna read is new or if it's a reread. This one and these are all together one tracker, so this is if it's a female author, a male author, or a queer author, and I like to keep track of that. And other than that, I just did some little doodles, a wand, some kind of steps from like the Morales map, and that's basically it for this page. Then the next one is my bookshelf page, which I also like to draw here. I can't remember how many there are. Maybe it's like 70 books in here. And I'm gonna give each star rating here a color and then write the title of the book I read in the books and color it in with what star rating I give it. And that's all this page is. But I filled it up with some doodles, you know, some Harry Potter related things, potions, a cauldron, butterbeer, whatever, time turner, golden snitch, anything like that. And then the next page is my Goodreads reading goal, which is 50. As always, I find out it's just a number that works for me. It's doable, but it is a bit of a challenge, so I always like to just keep it like that. And I just make this look like the mirror of the wrist. Then this page is the books I'm gonna have hauled. So I made this look kind of like a shopping basket, but then like the Book of Monsters. And I can just write down here all the books I'm going to read and if I have read them in this year, yes or no. So next up we have my A to Z challenge, and I made this in a little Quidditch pitch. And this is basically just me trying to read a book with every letter of the alphabet. I have never completed this, but I always find it fun to track. Next page is my priority books. I have not filled this in, but I'm gonna print out book covers here with the books I just want to prioritize reading this year. Yeah, just books I would like to read in 2026. Then I have my Hall of Fame 6-star reads. This is pretty self-explanatory, I feel. Yeah, I'm gonna print covers here in my favorite books of this year, and here I'm gonna put my 6-star reads, because my favorite books from the year, so like my Hall of Fame, doesn't necessarily mean they're also 6-star reads, so that's why I like to separate them. And I just drew a little scarf in Slytherin colors because I'm a Slytherin, and a Dementor. The next page is my 2025 TBR, and I wrote a little night bus, or I drew a little night bus here. And this is just books I really want to... Oh my god, I wrote down 2025. This is 2026. Well, I'm gonna have to go back and change that. But I drew a little night bus, and I'm just gonna write in the things, in the little windows, books I want to read this year. And then here I'm gonna write down how many out of the 20 I've read. Oh my god, but that's such a... I can't believe I did that and I only noticed it now. And this is my series tracker, and this is just where I track how many series I'm in the middle of, and how many books I need to read before I have completed the series. So I haven't actually filled this in yet because I want to make sure I don't finish the series this year still and then have it be on here. So I'm waiting until like in late December to fill this in. And then the next page is going to be my physical TBR. And again, I haven't filled this in, but that's just because there's still a bit left in the year, so I'm going to fill this in at the absolute last moment. But this is just all going to be all the books I have on my physical TBR. Then I have my author backlist, and this is basically, I also haven't filled this in yet, but this is basically authors I want to read their backlist of. And then I just like to keep a little bit of a system here where I can see which books I still have to read and how many I still have to read before having read their backlist. And I drew a little dragon in here. Then here I have a classics page because I would like to read some classics. So I just wrote down the classics in here, but again, I'm gonna print the book covers and put them in here. And then when I read them, I'm just gonna put the star rating under this here. And I made it look like a little bit of a Penguin classic because I collect these editions of classics. And then this page is very fun. This is Bookopoly. Just looked up prompts and I put them in the Monopoly board, and I'm just gonna color these in as I read from certain prompts. I think I'm gonna color coordinate the star rating from the earlier page I talked about, from my bookshelf page, like the color. I think I'm gonna also do that here. So yeah. And then here I have my book bingo page. This is one of my favorite pages in my journal every time, so I keep it in there. And I made this into a chessboard because Harry Potter, the first movie, chessboard. And I just put prompts in here, and when I complete them, I put the books here, which one I read for that prompt. So, yes. And I crossed them out because bingo. And then here I have Kindle reads, and here I just want to write down books I read on my Kindle so that I make sure that I make use of my Kindle because, well, I have it, so I want to use it. And there's a little birdie bots, every flavored beans. And then this one is based on the Quibbler, and these are just my monthly statistics. So for every month, I just wrote down here, and then that statistics I'm gonna keep track of is how many 5 stars did I have, how many books did I read this month, what was my average rating of this month. I also see now that I need to color this in. how many books did I DNF, and that's basically all I'm tracking here. And these are the last 2 pages for this setup. These are my bookish awards that I made look like what's this game called in English? Who is it? Who am I? Basically that game. And I'm just gonna, this is not gonna be useful until the very end of the year, but I want to put it, so this is just gonna be favorite book, least favorite book, and these are all prompts. I'm just gonna choose the books from that I've read this year that correlate with this prompt and put them in at the end of the year. And this is my monthly favorites. So here I'm just gonna put my favorite book from each month. And I have drawn too many squares here for now, but I want to see how I'm gonna do this layout because it didn't fit how I wanted it to. So I think I'm just gonna do 3, 3, 3, 3. But I wasn't sure yet, so I've just drawn all of these right now. But yeah, that was my journal setup for my 2026 reading journal. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm gonna fix these mistakes now. But let me know if you are having a reading journal for this year. And thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe. Bye.